It is Thursday, the day after the Nuggets blew an enormous lead against the Clippers and looked totally inept in the fourth quarter. TJ, what happened?
They don't know how to play basketball. And by that, I mean that when you watch their offense operate, it kind of looks like a high school basketball team. They're really young. Everybody wants to shoot the ball, except for the one guy who is supposed to shoot the ball at the end of the clock, which is Nikola Jokic. And even when he's in a prime position at the end of a game to tie it up, down low in the paint, Will Barton, instead of trying to pass out of the double team, tries to make a play, and they end up losing by 5 instead of being down 2 and possibly tying the game. And that's that kind of immature decision making that I think is going to bring a lot of scrutiny on Mike Malone for not showing them how to handle those situations better. But also, too, and you've mentioned this a lot on the air, at some point it has to come back on the players to make the right decisions, the ones they obviously know are correct, but don't do so because of ego or chasing glory or some kind of thing like that. And I think that was really what did them in last night against the Clippers.
That's where it gets hard to parse, is because these players couldn't have gotten to this level without at least knowing some of those basics, execution in the late game situations, and they're not doing it. So trying to figure out where that's coaching and then where that line blurs and becomes the players can become difficult. But this was more than just a loss that hurt. This was a game where they didn't have Jamal Murray. He's out with a concussion. He's going to miss the Nuggets next game as well. And they still had an opportunity to beat the Clippers on the road. They should have had him, and they blow it. These are the ones that it feels like when you end up missing the playoffs by a game or two at the end of the season, these are the ones that felt like you blew, and these are the ones that cost you.
Yeah, well, I think the Nurkic game last year is the one everybody points to and says that was your opportunity to make the postseason against the Trailblazers, and they totally fell flat on their face. You're absolutely right. They missed the playoffs by 2 games last year. And this season, it looks like, unfortunately, without Paul Millsap, that they're in the same position. And I think that's maybe more frustrating than anything else, is that even if Millsap's not on the floor, and he's out right now with injury, you would hope that they would have advanced to a better position than they're currently in just by virtue of maturity. And they haven't done that yet, I don't think. At least it doesn't look like it on the court to me.
And while Trey Lyles has played very well as a backup off the bench, if you're a Nuggets fan, then don't make things worse. Don't search for Donovan Mitchell highlights with the Jazz. Trust me, just don't do it. The Nuggets will be back in action on Friday. In the meanwhile, the Avalanche will be trying to extend their winning streak by scoring in their 8th straight game. They've held opponents to only 10 goals in the 7 that they've won before. They're at it tonight and out at the Pepsi Center against the Sharks.
They haven't lost this year.
They have not lost this year yet, so hey, that's something. He's TJ. I'm Shawn. We'll be back tomorrow on Mile High Sports.